It on Canada. Canada is in North America, and people who live in Canada are called Canadians. I will be going over the history, culture, and people of Canada, government and leadership, economy, and issues and cultural dimensions. Canada became a self-governing country in 1867. It was founded as a money-making scheme by the British, and that's why some people who live in Canada are British or speak French. It's because they have a history and ties with the British. In 1929, there's 5 women that fought to have women declared as people. Before that, they weren't even recognized as humans. In 1875, oil sands operations were created, which is impacting now that the oil field is a huge way for Canadians to make money, and it's a huge market there. Universal health care began in the 1960s and still takes place today. Charter of Rights and Freedoms were signed in 1982, which is similar to the Bill of Rights here in the United States. People and Society of Canada. The population of Canada as of July 2018 was 35,881,659. Most people speak English, around 60%, and around 20% speak French. About half of the population are men there, and half are women. Unemployment is pretty low, 6.3%. Education is similar to the U.S. Start in kindergarten and then go through grade 10 or 11, and then after that is secondary school, starting at grade 12, and then university after that is obviously optional like it is in the U.S. Major religions in Canada are Catholic, which is around 39%, and Protestant, which is around 20%. There's quite a variety of ethnic groups and in Canada, so most are Canadian, 32%, and then English, and then different types of European. Age makeup around 4 or 15% or 0 to 14, 11% 15 to 24, around 40% 25 to 54, 14% 55 to 64, and 65 plus has 19%. So, government and leadership in Canada. First of all, you can see the flag for Canada up in the right corner. The maple leaf is a symbol for Canada, also on the flag, obviously. It is a monarchy government, so that means that the UK Queen, so Queen of Canada, is Queen Elizabeth II. So the king or queen would be of each province, so Queen Elizabeth in this case, and then the Prime Minister is the head of the government. There's 3 levels of government there. The federal, which would be the Prime Minister, which deals with national and international issues. Provincial or territorial, which is the power to change laws and education, healthcare, road regulations, anything in that local area, or else city, which would be the mayor, similar to like in the US, parks, libraries, any of those things. And then there's 2 major political parties, conservatives and liberals, just like the US. Views of leaders there are communication and professionalism are rated most important. When the queen dies, there isn't a set plan for what will happen. So Canada will lose a lot of money because things will be shut down. So they should probably have a plan for that. Unless she is going through a slow death, then they probably would have a plan set up, and then they wouldn't be losing all of that money. The word for leadership in Canada is known as monarchy, probably. Economy, gross domestic product per capita is 44,150 USD. Market economic system, which means that the prices of goods and services are determined in a free price system, which changes often. Major industries are real estate and rental leasing, manufacturing, mining, oil and gas extraction, healthcare, and social assistance. Currency, one Canadian dollar is equal to 75 cents in the US dollar. A dollar in Canada is called a loonie, which you can see pictured in the bottom right corner. It comes as a coin. They don't have $1 bills very often. Bills are usually more increased value, so like $5, $10, etc. External debt is 1.608 trillion as of 2016, and public debt is 89.7% of the GDP as of 2017. 3 transnational issues in Canada. Canada and the US are disputing how to divide the Beaufort Sea and the status of the Northwest Passage. So this means that the cutoff is kind of in a gray area between Canada and the US for the Northwest Passage, which connects the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans through the Canadian Arctic archipelago. The US and Canada are working closely to ensure security measures for monitoring, controlling legal and illegal movement of people and goods across the US and Canada border. So that's just basically saying increasing security for the US-Canada border. And then the third transnational issue is the dispute with Denmark over Hans Island and Kennedy Channel. So they're disputing it because it's technically in both territories. So they're not having like a really serious dispute about it, but it's just in a gray area. So they both think that they have the right to the land. Cultural dimensions. The power distance is rated as a 39, which means interdependence is huge in Canada. People are really open there, and there isn't as much distinction between classes of individuals. Individualism is an 80, which means that individualistic culture is huge there. People just kind of worry about themselves and for themselves. Masculinity is 52, which means that people care more about caring for others and the quality of life instead of the competition between each other. Uncertainty avoidance is 48. Easy acceptance of new ideas and things. They're not very close-minded there. Long-term orientation was rated 36, means that they hold truth and respect for tradition really high. Indulgence is rated 68, which means that they're very indulgent. They want to enjoy life and have fun, even if that means like buying something or paying for an experience that's pricier. And here are my works cited. I used a couple different websites, and then I also used the CIA fact book, and then as well as the Hofstede studies and some fact sheets.